How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Up next, we're moving fast and furious now. We now have Erick Salgado, Reverend from Iglesia Jóvenes Cristianos. Reverend? Hey, all right. Good to meet you. Good to see you. Please. We have a new bottle of water that was, I guess Mr. de Blasio doesn't drink water. Yeah, we'll put it down here. Yeah, you'll take I have a microphone for you there.
Thank you.
The way we're doing this is fast and furious. We have a timer in front. You'll see time cues there. 90 seconds for your answer. These questions were put together by the coalition. I'm doing my best to express those questions throughout this discussion. And we have a 2-minute opening statement. We have 4 question areas, and we have some questions from the audience, and then we finish with a closing statement. Ready to rock and roll?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Reverend. And so we'll start then with your opening statement, please.
First of all, good evening. My name is Reverend Erick Salgado, and I am honored here. I am honored to be here participating, and I want to thank the Asian Pacific American community for allowing me to express myself and actually communicate my ideas and my vision for New York City with all of you. My tie with the Asian Pacific American community is not as tight as John Liu, but I want to share something with you. I'm running one of the biggest food distribution pantry in Brooklyn, in the community of Bensonhurst, and we serve over 1,000 families. 1,000 families get benefit every week, and I'm proud to say that 70% of those families are members of the Asian Pacific American communities. Also, my spouse Sonia, she was born in Ecuador, and her grandmother was an immigrant who came to Ecuador from the Asian Pacific community as well. I am running for mayor because I believe that all the different community of New York City, they need better representation in New York City. As you notice, I'm Latino, and as a Latino, I know how difficult it is to be underrepresented in City Hall or not represented at all. Therefore, I would like to fight for all the different community. We need a mayor that is willing not only to speak and to use fancy words to convince and persuade people, but actually we need a mayor that is going to be sensitive with the different custom, culture, and religious belief of New York City. And I believe that as a member of the clergy, that gives me the sensibility, and also as a small business owner, that gives me the capacity to actually run the city and be sensitive to all the different communities that are represented in this city. Thank you so much.
So the first question area, Reverend, here is regarding APA representation. If you could tell me what you believe is a good number. Deputy mayors right now, there are 10 deputy mayors and top administration officials. There are 81 heads of city agencies and offices. What number do you believe need to be of AAPI descent?
Well, I tell you that is actually my goal to go to City Hall is to represent the underrepresented community. I'm not going to come with a number because I want to take in consideration the demographic and the sub-demographic, especially on the Asian Pacific American community. We have so many sub-demographic like we have with the Latino. In the Latino, we have many sub-demographic. But I believe that if we are basically right now, the minority altogether became the majority in New York City, we should have altogether a majority of representation in City Hall. Right now, we know the city is divided the way it's divided, 35% Caucasian, 29% Latino, 14% Asian Pacific American. So we have to take that all in consideration and get the right and correct representation among the commissioner, and also we want to do something similar like Philadelphia did. What they did in Philadelphia is that they got a commissioner for every single specific minority ethnic in the city, and that commission is represented also to that entire community, straight to the mayor or to the deputy mayor in City Hall. But yes, my number of commissioners is going to be very considerable among the APA community, because I know they represent right now 14%, so it should be equal to that percent of representation in City Hall as well.
So you're saying 14%?
About
14%. The issue, 15 seconds if you can. How would you find the talent to fill that 14%?
There's no.
What was your strategic approach to find that?
Well, we had to find the most capable people regardless of what is the ethnicity, because I don't want to be only the first Latino mayor. I want to be a successful mayor to help all the New Yorkers. That's the goal. And we are more than confident that we have enough talent on the APA community. And yes, we're going to, according to the resume and to the experience, that we're going to find the right people to achieve the goal that we need in this city. We all have to work together.
Let's move to immigrant services. And as you know, when you talk about immigrant services, there's the issue of access vis-a-vis ESL and English as a second language, right? That has been one of the major discussion points, as well as legal services and having access to that. Talk about New York City's current level of immigrant services, whether it's right, and if it's not right, how would you change it?
Well, first of all, I am the only candidate that is going to work with all the inhabitants of New York City. Actually, one of my biggest and bold ideas that I know many of other the candidates they're using it now is to provide an identification card to all the undocumented immigrant. For 12 years, we have a mayor that decided to completely ignore the undocumented immigrant, and that is unacceptable. I'm going to work with them. I'm going to issue a municipal identification card so they could identify in the city and have a better quality of life in our city. For example, one of the situations that we have right now, they're going to try to pass a bill in the council that they're going to try to allow the legal resident to vote. I think only Lou and myself are the only candidate that believe that the legal resident, they should have the right to vote. We have to understand that most of them are they're not becoming citizens because of the language barrier. It's very difficult to them to actually learn the language once although they are trying their best, but sometimes they fail the test for U.S. citizen because the language barrier. And I believe that it's unfair if they're living in the city, if they're paying taxes, if they're obeying the law, if they are contributing to the welfare of this city, they should also have a say in the mayoral race election, because they're going to be either benefit or affected for the outcome of the race. And most of those children, they are U.S. citizens anyhow. So yes, we definitely need a mayor that is willing to work with all the inhabitants of the city, legal, illegal, or resident as well.
I want to follow up with you, if I can, Reverend, as I did earlier at the top of this forum. Is it constitutional that legal residents, what's your view, would be able to vote?
They vote before for remember, it's not a presidential election, and that's what they say. They say to me that there is a sacred right for U.S. citizen by birth to vote in many elections. But in Puerto Rico, where I was raised, I was born here in the Bronx, we had 3.4 million U.S. citizens by birthright, and they're not allowed to vote for the president of the United States or the Senate or the Congress. So if they are living here in the United States and they are contributing to the welfare of this city, and their children are, I know I have to stop, but just give me 1 second. The children are U.S. citizens, they're going to be affected by the outcome. Yes, they should have the right to vote for a mayoral race, which is an administrator for this city.
Third question area is public education, and I'll read out 3 areas. Of those 3 areas that I give to you, tell me which one you would pick to concentrate on first as mayor of New York City. Bullying, the lack of cultural sensitivity, and 3, the ability of parents, especially immigrant parents, to engage with Educators, teachers, administrators.
All three, they're important.
Well, if you had to pick one.
Bullying enforceable for all the student. Bullying is very important, but they're gonna follow you everywhere. Even in politics, they bully me all the time, and you have to focus and keep on going and do your best to do what you have to do for the city. But the sensitivity to work with the different communities, that's very important. Right now, I'm a pastor of a Hispanic church that have over 1,100 members. They are Latino, but the main language is Quiche. So right now I'm getting translated to go to those schools to help the parents to engage with the different educator. Because although our community, Latino or APA community, we speak with a language, we do not think with a language, with an accent. We are very intelligent, and all we need is sensitivity from the system. Although I understand that English has to be the primary language, but we need to have that sensitivity to work with all the different culture, custom, and religious belief in the city. That will be my major focus as well.
Well, how
are the three?
How would you do that? How would you create that sensitivity that you're saying is not there?
Yeah, well,
practical. Give me something practical.
But I just start.
No. This is a follow-up question.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
I got 15 seconds?
Yeah. Do 20.
Oh, okay.
I'm just giving away seconds.
They're doing a great job, by the way.
It's like Free Meal Monday here. I'm giving away this time.
We want to create different community council according to the different school district. That community council is going to be 50% appointed by the mayor and 50% elected by the different community. So if we have a community, for example, like Benson, where I am at, that is mayor is predominant Italian with the APA community and some Guatemalan community. So then it's going to reflect actually the needs of the specific community that council is serving. So it's very important to create those council that they are represented 50% by the mayor and 50% represented by the community itself.
All right, thank you for the specifics. Fourth area, housing, Mr. Salgado, and you know the city is just growing hand over fist here. Supposed to grow by 500,000, right? Big move. There have been years where the city hasn't grown. But as you see the city getting larger, the question from a lot of the folks that were here today, they were talking about affordable housing for all age groups. How do you maintain that, and how do you increase that based on this increase in headcount?
We have to be smart when it comes to affordable housing, and this is my idea. My idea is to give incentive to the developer to come and actually build in the area affected by Superstorm Sandy. We have to create buildings that are resilient to another superstorm. So if we're going to build, let's give them incentive, tax incentive, to come and actually build in the shore. We're going to make the shore of New York look like the shore of Puerto Rico, or the shore of Japan, or the shore of any country that know how difficult it is to deal with the different natural disaster. So we want to give the incentive to actually come to the shore, especially the area affected by Superstorm Sandy, built with the condition that they have to provide 30% of those of the apartments for affordable housing, especially for the Sandy victim. So that way we're going to resolve many problems. We're going to be ready for another superstorm because we're going to building resilient to superstorm. Right now what they're doing is either buying out the houses or allowing them to build the little houses on the shore. That is unacceptable. These people are victims, and we could use this opportunity to actually build correctly in the shore, building resilient to another superstorm, and then provide 30% for affordable housing for all New Yorkers throughout the city. That's the right way to resolve this problem.
We made it through, thank you very much, Mr. Salgado, through the 4 question areas. I get to take a little break for a second. We have some participant questions.
Okay.
And the first question is from Liz Oyang.
Hi, Reverend Salgado.
Thank you.
With over 100 languages spoken in the Asian Pacific American community, the city has struggled to meet the language needs of our diverse community. What plans do you have to ensure that this city can meet the diverse language needs to access services, especially for those Asian languages that are less commonly spoken than others?
Yeah, that is something that my administration is actually going to focus on. I want to represent all the unrepresented community. Let me tell you something about myself. I was born in the Bronx, but when I was 2 years old, my father, who actually passed away last week, and I buried him Saturday, he came to this city when he was 6 years old from Puerto Rico, and he struggled a lot because there was no social services then. So he told me many stories on how hard it was for the Latino community to survive in this city then. When I was 2 years old, I was taken to Puerto Rico because I was suffering for asthma. That thing made me nervous, but that's okay. You have to do your job. And
They're brutal, as I told Mr. de Blasio. You got to look out for them.
that's a huge 1 minute. Okay, anyhow, I was taken to Puerto Rico, and I was raised in Puerto Rico. I was educated there, and I came back when I was 17. So I know how sensitive it is to get all these services to the different community. That's why I'm creating a panel, once again, I'm going to say it, that is going to represent all the demographic with the sub-demographic on the different ethnics that we have in the city. That is going to be something that is going to be priority under my administration. You're going to have a mayor that is going to be sensitive to the different culture, the different custom, the different religious belief, and everyone who speak a language that is majority in the city according to the population that we have. We're going to try to provide such a service so everybody could have a better quality of life in this city, regardless your accent or your language. Thank you so much.
15-second follow-up before we get to the right here. 15-second follow-up, if I may, Mr. Salgado, and that is, when you look at the different ethnic groups, how might, since this is from the AAPI community and the coalition thereof, how might they be different compared to other immigrant groups or ethnic groups?
I'm sorry,
How might the AAPI ethnic group and or community group be different than other ethnic and community
well,
groups?
there's many different, especially the language. Among the Latino, there's so many different in the culture, like South American, Central American, but what makes us different, I could say, with the APA community is that the APA community has different languages, and we had to work with that. We had to work with the Korean, with the Chinese, the different language, the Mandarin, So we had to provide, under the APA community, we had to take in consideration the demographic and the sub-demographic. We have to make sure that we are sensitive, because that's what happened in my community. For example, okay.
Thank you so much for...
I give up.
No, don't give up. Yeah, let's enjoy this conversation. Lois.
Oh, I enjoyed it, definitely.
I know you're smiling. Lois Lee, please, for the Reverend.
Hi, I'm the Director of Chinese American Planning Council.
How you doing?
I have seen changes to the child care system from Mayor Lindsay's, won't tell you how old I am, anti-poverty funding to Mayor Bloomberg's 60% budget cuts, losing 47,000 slots for child care and after-school centers. If elected, what plans do you have to create a sustainable, funded, and coordinated system of early childhood education, DOE public schools, and CBO after-school programs that will best support our children's education and working parents' needs?
Child care had to be restored anyhow. They should have never been touched by Mayor Bloomberg. But what I want to concentrate is in raise revenue that will be exclusively used for the Department of Education, so we could take care of the gap that we have right now in the educational system. We have to understand that the Department of Education is taking almost 30% of the city budget. So I want to concentrate in generate revenue that will be exclusive use for that. How are we going to do that? I want to encourage the non-for-profit organization to actually come out and create programs such as daycare, aftercare, program to teach GED, ESL, and many others that will benefit the different community. Many of the non-profit, they are more than eager to do so, but the biggest obstacle that they have is location. It's very difficult to find a location. But we have the location. We have 1,745 school facility, and we would like to rent them to the non-for-profit in non-school hours for them to come out and actually create this program that will benefit the community. And potentially we could raise over $80 million that will be used exclusively to the Department of Education, and those programs are going to generate many jobs that are going to be specifically for our youngsters that are coming out of college. They're going to be able to participate and get the experience to get a professional a job in the future, and ultimately it's going to take our children out of the street because they're going to be safe in our school facility in programs that are going to benefit the different communities.
Thank you. Because I think that a lot of funding goes to DOE, but a lot of funding does not go to the community-based organizations. And we do have the same credentials and background, and it's not equitable. Our pay is 1/3 of the Board of Ed salaries. The same.
I know. I understand that the
we
purpose.
want to really recognize the value of the community-based organizations. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. I'm gonna take the value of them, and I think we have to encourage them to actually come out. And let me show you something. They are more than eager to help, but the city is making it so difficult right now to help. Even in Hurricane Sandy, when people was looking for shelter, the schools, they were not accessible, and we had to create a program where the non-for-profit could help the community, and we could team up by renting in a low cost our facility to them to actually be able to help the different community. Thank you so much.
I want to ask a question. The third questioner is not here, but the question had to do with immigration reform. And as we've been discussing throughout the evening, there are over 300 amendments. And as you look at the AAPI community, which of the amendments do you think would be the most important to address? Actually, pick one or maybe two of those amendments that would be important to this community.
Well, there's many things in regard to the reform, and actually it's important that you understand that I have devoted my last 15 years in my ministry to help the immigrants in this city. That's what I do day to day, not because I was running for office, because that's what I like to do to help the most vulnerable one. My biggest concern in regard of is that they're trying to prolong the time where the person is actually going to become citizen. And it's because the same purpose. They're trying to prevent many communities to actually exercise the right to vote. Right now they're making it A, and then you have to renew it for A more, and then after that you have to apply for the resident. Altogether, it could be up to 20 years. 20 years for a person that is living here, 20 years already, most of them, is going to take them possibly 40 years to actually exercise the right to vote for the first time. I think that should be taken in consideration because I believe it is a huge amount of people that love this country, that live in this country, that for one or another reason haven't been able to legalize themselves, and they should have the right to vote sooner than 20 years down the road.
All right, very good. Thank you so much. We'll now finish up with your closing remarks.
Well, my name is Erick Salgado. I'm a minister. I'm a pastor of a big church in Brooklyn. I have served this community for 24 years, all my productive life. I am also a small business owner. I was able to actually build the biggest Spanish evangelical broadcast network in the city, where we have 4 different stations broadcasting 24/7. I know how to handle the different administration. I know how to be sensitive with the different community because I work with different community. I am Puerto Rican descendant. I'm actually Puerto Rican, but I work with different community. My spouse, Sonia, she's Ecuadorian. She's also an immigrant. Her grandmother came from Japan to Ecuador a long time ago, and I'm proud to say that most of my children, my 6 children, they are proud to actually have some something in their blood from the APA community. So I believe that the next mayor, whoever it is that you decide to elect, has to be a person that is willing to work with all the different communities that we have in New York City. As a Latino mayor, I'm going to work for all the community, and the APA community is going to be one of the #1 community that I'm going to be working with, because I have spent my last 15 years together with them in the community of Bensonhurst. Thank you so much. God bless you. And remember that Erick Salgado is running for mayor, and I need your vote. Thank you so much.
Reverend Erick Salgado there from Iglesia Jóvenes Cristianos.
That's
Thank
right.
you so much.
Thank you so much. God bless you, okay?
Thank you for coming today. And again,